speak moron as well as you, but let me try.
What the hell is supposed to do, you moron?
It's a moron. That's not against the law.
Gun! You fucking moron!
Stuff like Batman.
Because he is Batman, you moron.
What are you, a fucking moron?
You moron. Drop dead. Moron.
Whoa!
Up here, you morons.
Stepping morons like yourself.
Me down, you moron! Hey, moron!
We're not even on the air yet.
No, but we still can't say it. We have to practice saying it so we can get it done properly.
Four
That's
guys
your
with it.
job. You're the
I was
host.
gonna say,
Bohemian Rhapsody.
that was good.
That's pretty
Like,
good.
I'll go.
Why does it sound...
Just cut that in
Bohemian-
and just leave it in all the time we need to mention the title of the film.
I've been
We'll
getting
just leave it on
absolutely
your
slaughtered.
pause and then Kel can slide that in.
I've been getting slaughtered in the house recently because we did like a Mexican night and we got and I'm going to say this really slowly so that I say it properly because I could not get these words out. But we had a bowl of refried beans, right? And honestly, for all day I kept saying, I really enjoyed those refried beans. And even now, I really have to concentrate on how I'm saying that. And it's really frustrating. But when I've been telling people that we're going to be watching Bohemian Rhapsody, that's it. I kind of get out. So I just keep telling people we're watching the movie about Queen, which is what we're here to talk about today. But welcome into those that are listening. You have missed my voice for a couple of weeks. I had the world's longest COVID session. So I was off ill. These guys somehow stuttered through 2 episodes that were ridiculous.
Can I just ask on there, Kel? I've heard a rumour that you were actually not in your bed that night and you were watching the Man United game with a friend of ours.
I was with my friend.
So you weren't obviously as ill as you made out in our group chat.
Well, I was though, because if you go, I can send you back my correspondence with said friend about you better check yourself because you were in my house when I had COVID. I will freely send you across the test. But the friend wasn't here to see me actually. He was here to see the missus.
With his missus as well.
With his missus as well, yeah. Him, his missus and their child were here to see my missus. And I was off sick from my unpaid working with the morons.
Because we thought you were actually that ill that you were in bed and couldn't move a muscle, but I heard otherwise on Saturday, so I was quite surprised by that revelation.
It was just sore throat. Didn't want to listen to you guys talk about ironing your clothes. So talk about ironing your clothes, or actually talk about how you have fetishes about masturbating, starting to masturbate when your dad had finished or something like that. And Daniel talked about his childhood.
Hey, wait. I didn't say I had a fetish, but it was just an unfortunate circumstance of childhood pornography finding. That's all.
Oh, the seedy times.
Yes.
But I managed to get out of talking about that fucking horrendously shit film, Stand By Me.
Quickly, tell us what you didn't like about it, just quickly, 'cause you didn't give us very detailed reviews since you were distracted by the football and your friends.
Yeah, well, you got a 2-line review because I'd forgot, and then I see the messages of me getting abuse. I just found it really, really boring. And I didn't really find it relatable to anything at all. I just thought nothing happened in the film at all. But I think I went in with this really high expectation that this is going to be one of my top 10 movies because, again, everybody had told me this was the best thing ever and it was an amazing childhood movie. Weirdly, and you can maybe clarify this for me, Daniel, and Hunter, probably Burnsy as well, actually. But a few separate people have told me that this is more of a stoners movie.
I don't think so. I think I see it as a childhood movie. I think I watched it at an age where, because you're saying there was nothing relatable and nothing happened, but like they got chased out the junkyard, they went on an adventure, they stayed out overnight, they went to find a dead body, they had a gun, it was fucking shoot. That's loads of things to happen to a 12-year-old in one day.
You grew up.
No, I never happened to me, but I'm saying that's what happened in the film. Assuming that you watched it when you were driving again and you just didn't see any of the stuff that happened.
That's hearsay, guys, and that's illegal. Please do not watch movies whilst you're driving, guys. That's irresponsible. But we're not here to talk about the irresponsible drivers out there on the road. Let's get talking about Bohemian, the Queen movie. Whose choice was this?
Shaun's.
Great.
Elephant in the room. So we were slagging you off for pulling a sickie and watching the football, but at least you had the common decency to let us know that you weren't going to be here. So Shaun, disappointed. I'm assuming he's got a celebration hangover from the football.
He had a few too many shandies yesterday, and he's not been able to cut it today. Or he's still strapped in watching the movie that we're going to be talking about next week. It's certainly one you would want to pay attention to. But this one is about the story of the legendary British rock band Queen and their lead singer Freddie Mercury leading up to their famous performance at Live Aid in 1985. I'm not going to talk about this first because as someone who could not care less about music, and before watching this movie probably couldn't have told you 3 Queen songs. Although when I did watch it, I was like, oh, I recognise that song. I didn't know that was him. I probably said that about 5 or 6 times because I have absolutely no clue about music. So I'm going to come to Hunter first to talk me through his thoughts.
Well, as I'm some sort of music guru. For me, I quite enjoy this film. I think there has been I don't know what it's a major rise, and again, I don't know if it's because people are. It's either rehashes of movies or it's real, like these biopic things seem to be on the rise recently. And I think this has probably been, for all the ones that I've seen anyway, the best of the bunch for them. For me, I think Rami Malek is, he's got, not that I've ever watched a lot of Queen, although I did kind of, my parents were Queen fans, so it kind of was on in the house when I was growing up and stuff like that, but I think even just when you remember seeing some of the footage from the performances, I think he's got some of Freddie Mercury's mannerisms absolutely nailed down. And again, I think I would say, as you said as well, that you don't really, without even actually being a Queen fan, you can actually kind of still enjoy it as well because you're obviously the music is quite universal and everyone is either kind of heard that, definitely heard of them, and the most famous songs, I mean, that's it, they've carried on through generations. And then a couple of wee bits that do kind of make you laugh at, like the bit where they were in explaining the whole Night at the Opera album, and they're like teenagers and they're going to be walking along to this in their calves. And then obviously it's a little nod to Wayne's World, which obviously they do walk along and bop their heads in the calves to Queen.
Bop their heads. You're so cute, Hunter.
I think I was just try to use the word thing. I think it was used in the film again. I think some of the back cast have kind of, I don't know, they were just, unless it was just Queen in general, like some of the band members were a bit like the guy who used to be in EastEnders, the drummer. And like a few of the performances I wasn't totally blown away by, but again, I think we're probably similar to maybe how they were as a band, that it was the Freddie Mercury show all the way through, and I think that's probably why. And I can't remember, did Rami Malek win anything for this? I was definitely up for a few awards anyway. And again, I
You're the man that does the trivia, Hunter, for this, so I'm hoping that you've got the answers.
Well, maybe to research about others.
I was just going to say, Hunter, as well, it's like when you mentioned there about the other band members, it's like that was one of the things that I put down as like a downside to the film, because it was, obviously I knew a lot of it's going to be based on Freddie Mercury, but I felt I got nothing out of the other band members. Like, you didn't really find anything interesting about them, which maybe that's what I should have expected going in, but I wanted to, because they were sort of involved in a lot of the background scenes, but quite often it was them just sort of saying nothing in the scenes, so it kind of felt a bit pointless.
Yeah, well, again, that's kind of not even just that similar to that. It's also similar to maybe the story as a band as well. As it was always the Freddie Mercury show, even not just the film, but when they were in the band as well. Obviously, you kind of seen it with some of these sort of performances and maybe turning up late. But it was always all about him, and again, that was just because he was so over the top and flamboyant.
I was going to say,
Daniel.
I was just going to say as well that I'm pretty sure when this movie was first conceived, it was supposed to be a Freddie Mercury biopic. But everything to do with Queen, they own everything. So I'm sure they got involved and changed a lot of this. So I'm sure that originally, I think Kyle will be able to correct me because I think he might know this, but Sacha Baron Cohen, I'm sure, was originally scripted to play Freddie Mercury.
He was, yeah.
And this was meant to be quite an outrageous movie about Freddie Mercury's like life of excess and being this outrageous fucking guy. And I think it ended up being a very soft, dull version of that. And they wanted it to be about Queen, so they called it Bohemian Rhapsody.
Right.
The other back then.
Well, that makes sense, though. I just feel like it's one of those.
Hey.
Shaun has joined us, guys, after slandering him for not turning up and being a no-show. He's turned up late to his work.
I thought Daniel was just tuned because Kyle had said something. I was confused.
Hi, Shaun.
Sorry, I've just woke up.
We did think that you were asleep.
Shaun, we'll give you a couple minutes to get your head around what we're talking about, but we're into talking about the Queen movie because none of us can actually say what the movie was called without fucking it up. But I just wanted to jump in there quickly and say that, don't you think that Freddie Mercury is the biggest cock ever?
And he's not. He's portrayed as very selfish in this, isn't he?
He's just portrayed as a cunt. Like, I actually could not stand the character at all.
I don't know.
There was no elements in it where I felt sorry for him, liked him, found him. It's one of those things that's like, do people give him allowances for being such a knob because he's so talented?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's the same in any walk of life. Anyone that's talented is a bit of a knob because you got all these people jumping along and singing along to his song. Just imagine that ego's inflating, fucking way, multiplying every time he's got somebody singing songs back at him, and like especially with a crowd the sizes of the ones that they were playing to as well.
Well, listen, as somebody who doesn't have any type of ego, I could not relate to any of this, so that's probably why I think he's a complete knob.
I was going to I think it's much like Hunter said that I think most super talented people are a bit sort of mental, and you've got to be, because he doesn't really, he cares about everyone about him, like the one that he got engaged to, the lassie. He didn't want to be with her, but he also wanted to have her at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like when she's got a new guy in that, and as if he's like shocked that she's like, what you doing with somebody else? It's like, well, we spoke
is that not like,
so it was never going to work between us, was it? But he obviously wasn't happy. Although he said he was happy and pleased for her, it was obviously a complete lie. He wanted her to be single and just waiting on him hand and foot, basically.
That's the narcissism element, though, isn't it? That's like, it's so funny. So I've been rewatching The Sopranos recently, and it's only the second time round that I've watched it. And this time round, I've realised how much that Tony Soprano's character is very like that, where he just does not want anybody around him to have anything good. And I got that same feeling for Freddie Mercury.
I think to be super successful, you just kind of have to be, I don't know, about yourself. I do think
any walk of life, you talk about for example, the fucking Erling Haaland. Do you think he's got the way he's got by being a considerate person? No, he's a selfish bastard, and he wants to finish and score. If he could have his way, he would score every single goal that Man City fucking score.
The problem.
What I love it.
We went from Freddie Mercury to Tony Soprano to Erling Haaland.
I was going to say
random celebrity bingo, man. I think somebody's got a full house there.
but there are the moments where when the other guy, the manager, suggests him going solo for the first time, he sacks him on the spot because he doesn't want to break up the band and he wants everyone to have the same. And I just think he started to lose it a wee bit. He lost the plot a wee bit towards the end, but then he regretted it all. So I do think they gave him like a nice.
But he didn't really want everyone to have the same, because then I don't know obviously what they had to be before that, but then for him coming back and getting the band back together was saying that would split it 4 ways. So he was obviously getting like the vast majority of the stuff at that point.
No, I think what happened was that he wanted more, and that they wouldn't agree to that. Then so he just went in his own.
Maybe I missed that. I thought it was more to say he was getting 50% before, and they're like, well, you're only coming back if we get 25% each or something. You know what I mean? I get what you mean though in terms of he didn't want to break up the band, but I just assumed that was because he was high and didn't know what he was doing, to be honest.
There's that as well. I mean, I'm on Freddie Mercury's side. I mean, who gives a fuck about Queen without Freddie Mercury? Like, honestly, I'd give him 90% of the fucking money and they can shove up their arse. And I think it's their fault that this film's shit, because this should have been an amazing film. It should have been big fucking orgies with midgets and fucking mental stuff going on. And it should have been all about the genius of Freddie Mercury and seeing him at his lowest and seeing what it was like when he was no well in the lead up to Live Aid and all that sort of stuff. But I just felt, I don't know, like Freddie Mercury's this such a outgoing, flamboyant, did what the fuck he wanted guy, and this movie's the opposite of that. It's so
they didn't really touch on like the drug abuse and stuff with him though, did they?
No, like
a couple of references, but again, I think what you're saying from the original film that was being sort of written, there was like parties where like Freddie Mercury had like midgets walking about like with plates of cocaine fucking attached to their heads and that.
And that's like, I've read a few, I think you might be the same on that, but I've read quite a few musicians' autobiographies, and like I read Keith Richards' autobiography years ago when I was a teenager, and he said that the wildest parties that he's ever been to, and this is Keith fucking Richards, said it was Freddie Mercury's parties, said they were just unbelievably wild, and like anything went and all this sort of crazy shit. And he obviously had such an interest in life, and I don't think you really get to see any of that. You get to see loads of him like talking to his annoying dad, his dad saying the same thing 5 times, and at the end he gives him a hug and like wasted shit. Who gives a fuck about that part of Freddie Mercury's life? Him and his fucking dad. No one.
Yeah, I think you could have skipped back the whole starting of him changing it to Queen. You could have just jumped right in from a month before or when he split up for the band. Start from there.
No, I wouldn't start from there. No, I would give you the journey of Queen getting together and that. Fair enough. Like, but I think that's where you start it. I don't think you need any. It's not even where you started. They kept cutting back to all that pish for dinner at his family's house and all that stuff.
Well, let's bring Sleeping Beauty into the talk here. He selected this movie. Shaun, was this one that you had seen before, or was it a first time watch?
No, I'd seen it a few times before. I went to the pictures to see it when it first came out. I love Queen. And I do like this film. I do understand, obviously I've only heard snippets there, but I do kind of get what Daniel's saying. They've kind of chose to make a safe film, I would say. I think if they went down the route of the partying side and the drug side and everything like that, maybe would they painted a different picture of him. And maybe if he was still alive, I mean, maybe he wouldn't have had any issues with a film like that being made. But obviously, because Queen were heavily involved in making this, they obviously approved. Basically, like I think they like this film. So it is quite a safe kind of film in terms of like portraying Freddie Mercury. But just as you were saying there about like how selfish he came across, I think you're right that I think you'll find that those at the top of their game, whether it's music, sport, business, whatever it is, like they're probably totally different from what you imagine, and they probably are like a bit self-centered, like pure narcissists and that, and just dicks. I think it must be easy to get like that when you're that famous and that successful and that talented and that rich. Like, look at, I've used Conor McGregor as an example. His rise to where he is now, like he was quite a likeable guy, and then he just turned and getting arrested for fucking assaults, whatever else and all that. It's obviously changed him as a person. So it's no real surprise that would happen to somebody like him. It would probably it could very well happen to any of us if we kind of hit that level of fame and that. So, but in terms of the film, like I like it. It's an easy watch. in terms of these kind of films that are getting made, I've not seen the Elton John one or that, but there's quite a few biopics getting made and all that. This is probably one that I like the most out of a lot of them. This is Straight Outta Compton. I really enjoyed that as well. I think I chose that for us a year and a half ago or whatever. But no, I do like this, but I do understand you could be wanting more from it because it does leave out big parts of his life and stuff like that. But what I will say is I thought Rami Malek, if I pronounce his name, I thought he was absolutely amazing. Just like his mannerisms, and obviously we've only ever seen videos of Freddie Mercury, but I thought he got it absolutely spot on, and the Live Aid scene was just, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. It was down to the smallest details, the Pepsi cups, everything was just spot on. I thought it was absolutely brilliant, and actually like the CGI, the old Wembley and stuff, I thought it looked good as well, because obviously that's not there anymore. But I did really like this film. It's a comfort film for me, I would say.
When just to catch up on that, just to let you know, guys, when we become hugely famous and successful from this podcast, and I get offered a solo contract, I'm fucking ditching you guys at the first opportunity. just putting that out there.
And you wouldn't even say it to our faces. You just turn up one day and you wouldn't be there. At least
you'll see me online with Paris Hilton on TMZ talking about Shaun having the same fantasies as Quentin Tarantino.
You'll be in a fucking celebrity boxing match in no time if you got famous. Like, you would just annoy folk, and that's what you would.
I think you'll be on the undercard for KSI versus Jake Paul at the end of the year.
I can better put the drink down then, eh? Just want to comment. So I've been hang fire on this, right? So because I've not really known much about Queen, don't really care for music. It's no for me, all of it.
Is not for me. Music.
Music is not for me. I really struggle.
It's like saying eating is not for me. Like, it's just something that, like, there's bound to be like a song out there that you like.
Do you know what? When I get in my car, this Spotify pops up and the same 5 songs play every single time, and I never change it. It's the first 5 songs that pop up on Spotify for the Beautiful South. And that's it. I just play that over and over, the same 5. I don't even go into any of their albums because it's just no background noise to me. It doesn't mean anything.
That is quite a weird choice. I love the Beautiful South. I'm no slagging the Beautiful South. I think that's quite a good choice, but certainly not what I expected, Kyle.
But do you know what it is? It's one of those ones that was always played in the house when I was younger. My mum played the Beautiful South all the time, so it's got like a nostalgia thing for me. So it's like that, I suppose, a comfort band that I know, and yeah, I never change it. Like if I jump in the car and the Disney songs are playing from him, the wee ones being in the car, I just let them play through as well. I know the words to those ones, though. That's the only difference.
Like, see, because you make a good point. Sorry, I know you were about to say something, but this was the same for me with Queen growing up. 2 of the first CDs I had when I got my first CD player were Queen's Greatest Hits 1 and 2, and my mum and dad played it all the time, and I played it all the time. I just think that ultimately I would rather listen to Queen's Greatest Hits and read Wikipedia than watch this film, I think. Like how.
Well, so because I didn't know much about it, I was like, I'm going to see how accurate this movie is. And pretty much majority of it's not true.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't fall in anywhere near the timeline. So, for instance, the manager that got sacked never got sacked when he did. It was like years and years before what the movie presents. Just stupid things like the party scene in Freddie Mercury's house where the Rick James song's playing in the background, Super Freak. That song wasn't released for a few years after that party. There's loads. Freddie Mercury hadn't even been tested for AIDS until after Live Aid.
I don't think it's obviously implying that he's got it, but I don't think he's.
Well, he'd been to see the doctor, didn't he?
He tells the band before. So see when the.
Oh, I see he did, aye.
So that never happened.
Treat me any differently and all that kind of stuff.
I think what they've wanted to do creatively is finish on that big Live Aid scene, which I do agree with Shaun. It's brilliant. I remember as a kid, like it being a thing that you got to see. I'm sure we had it on VHS, and I loved it. I thought it was amazing, and I thought they did a great job at it. But I think they really wanted to end the film with that, so they just fucked everything else into the timeline before that, so they could squeeze it all in.
But there's loads of things. So like all the montages of all the gigs and places that they went, like majority of them they didn't even go to. Like there's loads of places in America that never actually played at all, but it popped up on the screen. It just reading through the issues with it made me hate it even more because it's like they've not even researched it properly. So for instance, the Gordon We Will Rock You in 1980, the song was actually released in 1977.
And see, like, you know what I found the funniest was, like, about the things you're saying like that. See, when they did the whole stomp, stomp, clap thing, just like that, there's like no way that was ever anywhere near how that happened. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was just so lame and stupid. You can tell that, what's his name, Brian May, who's a big annoying twat, he had loads of influence on this film because he's just a big lame loser, and loads of the scenes involved with him just are fucking stupid.
It's like a fun sponge having his own fucking screen. Just like all the enjoyment just zaps and he absorbs it all. Big curly-haired wanker.
A big curly-haired wanker.
Get that down for the name.
Yeah, so there was just, after reading that, I can't remember fully all about, the main one that got me, that really annoyed me, was a big part of the storyline is about him going solo and doing his own thing. But the reality is that every single member of that band was working on their own solo project at the same time for years before Freddie Mercury released his one.
Aye, so it was an agreement that all that stuff was just nonsense. That was all nonsense because I think they always had like their own shit going on, and it wasn't an issue as far as I'm aware.
And the last one I wanted to touch on it, when he meets his partner Jim Hutton, that's obviously when Jim's like a waiter in one of the parties, which never happened. It was about 5 years later he met Jim in a nightclub. Like, how hard would that be to make him have one scene where he's out clubbing and he meets this guy, and it shows you the true background story of the guy that he falls in love with, whereas they just shoehorned it into this scene that never happened. It just seems so. It's actually annoyed me reading it back, and it's made me mark this even lower. As much as I didn't really care for the movie that much, I do like the main guy's acting was quality in it. He was very, very good, and because I didn't know much about Queen, I couldn't really relate to what was going on in it. But it was when I researched it after, I was like, this is really, really pissed me off, because surely this is not hard to make an accurate representation of what happened.
Aye, or at least focus on the bits that are interesting, and then you don't have you can just have those details correct. You don't have to try and squeeze everything in. Who cares that they went on tour to Wyoming or whatever in a tour bus? Just don't have that scene in the fucking movie. It doesn't add anything.
I think that's what I find as well, as in terms of like one of the things I wrote is like how it seemed to just jump from the very beginning, like when they first met, and then they're in the band on top of the pops within the first, 15 minutes of the film or so. And I was like, well, tell me more about how they got to that stage, or don't include that bit in the film. It was as if they were trying to tell a full story but didn't actually go enough detail. The same with what I was saying about the other band members and stuff like that. Like, and I still enjoyed it, but there was just so many inaccuracies that I thought in terms of what I wanted, and I thought I was going to be the one that maybe came on and that always were going to like it, just because I thought that probably always had watched it before and probably had good opinions of it. But I remember I said, I think it was last week, I went to watch Elvis at the cinema, and obviously I was like comparing it to that just because obviously it's based on like music and obviously the story of like a performer, and Elvis compared to this is still just like so much better, I thought, because they tried to cover everything but gave you enough detail instead of, and it get like I don't know if it was Daniel or Kyle that said about how they obviously have tried to make it based on a PG film, whereas to me it's like, if you're going to tell a story, then tell the true story, not just hiding stuff out.
Yeah, spot on.
Just to finish off where I was going with my story was in regards to Shaun saying about the CGI for the Wembley, which I thought looked so cool. And I think as much as I don't really like music, I'd love to be in the situation where I was in something like that, like in the crowd of that. I think that would just be so cool. But just in terms of detail, in the errors in the goof section of IMDb, it talks about how in the background of their CGI that they've done for this, they had a train go by that was a first group train that never started till 12 years after the concert.
That's been a bit harsh.
I just think that's funny that they've just taken a standard CGI scene of something and just thought, "Hey, that'll do. That looks all right."
To be fair, there's a white transit van in the background of one of the battles in Braveheart, and that won an Oscar. So, like,
The best transit van the world goes to.
But you get the one in Gangs in New York. I think Leonardo DiCaprio's wearing a digital watch.
oh, there's all sorts of this shit. I like it in Jurassic Park where you can see the guy holding the puppet in one of the Velociraptor scenes. You see his arm, just a puppet. Puppet's something scary.
There's also the Game of Thrones one where they're sitting doing like a big talk at a table and there's a Starbucks cup sitting in the middle of the table.
That one, yeah.
Somebody said there was one in The Last of Us, but I don't know what it is yet. I've not seen today's episode, by the way, so no spoilers.
I've still only went up to the third episode.
Oh man, you're missing a lot. It's good. Oh, it's good.
I'm waiting though, because I watched it week on week and it annoyed me, so I want to binge it.
Are you going to watch it, Shaun?
I've not got Sky Atlantic, so probably no more than her.
You've got our logins because of this.
Have I?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm about one day. I might get rid of Virgin anyway because they're putting it up by fucking 22 quid. So
get Virgin in the bin.
Sky Glass for life.
Right, give us a sponsorship, Sky.
I know. I've been needing one to taste, guys. So if you're listening, give us a shout.
Right, send us all some telly, Sky, please.
Just a free subscription would be fine. That's all.
We've got the telly already. Does anybody want to talk more about the Queen movie?
I feel like I just want to come back a wee bit because I've shit in this quite a lot, but I just want to say I love Queen. Like, Queen are amazing, and all the music's brilliant, and I do quite like the bits where they're recording the songs, and like the Live Aid bit's great, but I suppose you could just watch Live Aid.
I know, that's what I mean. For all that, it's great, and obviously in Rami Malek's performance as Freddie Mercury, as Shaun's touched on, everything is, even the way he walks, just everything is absolutely nailed on perfect. But does the film need to show the full 20 minutes so that's set at the end of the film?
Yeah, it's the best bit. It's the best bit of the film.
Do you know what bit confused me? Is the bit where, and I don't even know the song, but they were cross-dressing in the video for it.
Oh,
I feel like there was a decent story in there or something controversial happened. They showed it for about 60 seconds and moved on.
Yeah, they just focused on random shit, it felt. It was a bit weird. As a wee segue, though, what I feel this movie was missing was Bobby.
Did you have a big Bobby? It did. The Top of the Pops thing, though, was it not? Or MTV did highlight the fact that the cameras were zooming into their crotches.
Yes. There was some bulge, but no Bobby.
But we never got to see a Bobby.
No.
But if there was ever going to be a story of somebody's life that was going to have loads of Bobbies in it, it should be Freddie Mercury's fucking life. You know what I mean?
Well, Daniel, give us a recap of. You obviously put a post up on Instagram recently asking people to talk about their favourite Bobbies from movies. Give us a quick rundown and a recap of some of the highlights.
So I saved them this time. I'm getting better at this.
You've saved all the Bobbies.
I've saved all the Bobby suggestions. So we put a question out to people on Instagram this week after the Banshees of Inisherin, another name I'm not very good at saying, because there was another Bobby in it. We've had quite a lot of Bobbies, so I feel like we should rank our favourite Bobbies today.
Morons reviewing man bits.
Bobbies, because we educated our followers on what a Bobby is, because we got some questions on that. So we're.
Imagine you woke up Sunday morning and you're thinking, right, there's a lot on today. There's a couple of cup finals here. I'm just going to see what's on social media before I set about my day. I'm going to have a lovely day. The Morons are saying, let's think about and talk about your favourite Bobby. Because I went out for a nice steak lunch at Miller and Carter. If they want to sponsor us as well, that'd be fantastic. I do love a bit of steak. And spent my whole lunch talking about Bobbies and movies.
Well, we've got more to talk about now. So from steak to sausage, here comes the best bobies in movies, according to our followers.
Name and shame, please.
What I want you to do in the background, Kyle, is do some research into whether they used a prosthetic penis or if this is a real penis. Because that's what I care about that. The first one we've had, a couple of people suggested this, is the final scene in Boogie Nights where Dick Diggler is talking to his cock, which is an excellent scene. Have we all seen that? I know you've not.
No,
I've not.
I think I've actually seen Boogie Nights.
Wow, let's get Boogie Nights on the agenda.
Which was a prosthetic penis for that one, we do know that.
Marky Mark, you're shit. Prosthetic penises I don't think should count, so I'm going to disqualify Boogie Nights from best penis, surely. What do we think?
Unless you want to DM one of us a picture of his actual penis.
A full phallus if we're judging it, definitely.
It needs to be a real penis, doesn't it? This is one that I've seen this movie when I was younger, but I don't remember it, so we might need to watch it. It's a penis scene in Basketball, which I don't remember. Has anyone seen it?
I've seen the film, but I can't remember the Shaun being on show.
So I don't know if that's an actual penis or whose penis it even was, if it was Matt Stone or Trey Parker or somebody else. So we'll need to do some research into the Basketball penis.
I really don't know if I should be just constantly searching penises.
Yeah, this is why I'm relying on you to do this research.
I did have a thought, I can't remember, but did someone suggest...
Especially when you're on the hotel Wi-Fi, Kel.
You see, you've obviously mentioned... Did anyone ever mention the scene in Braveheart where they all lift their kilts up? I mean, there's hundreds of bobies there, if that's the case.
All shapes and sizes of bobies.
Oh,
the thing you notice about the Braveheart scene is obviously they're accurate to the period, and there's massive bush, which makes the bobies look less impressive, I think.
I imagine that it was Jim on somebody who just had the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 with the boss before.
Well, apparently it was Trey Parker's penis, and I can't see anything to say it was fake here. So,
well done, Trey Parker, getting your actual penis out. Next one we've got, and this is from friend of the show, JMick88 Films. We need to say JMick88 Films so people can actually look him up when we say that. Michael Fassbender in Shame, and he said Shame is something he should not have. So I'm assuming he does have a.
I've seen this movie.
Michael Large member is what he said.
Is it a smashing big or is it a disappointment?
I've typed in Michael Fassbender penis, and it's come up an article that says a year in the life of Michael Fassbender's penis. There's an article talking about a year in the life of his schlong.
That's quite interesting. And a diary from the perspective of the penis.
I've not read the article, believe it or not, but I will later.
Yes, me too. I think that sounds good. I like that. We've got the Tenacious D when he uses his penis to click the big red button. But I'm going to guess prosthetics. Don't know, but quite funny. Train Spotting, Ewan McGregor taking the condom off in Train Spotting, which is a quite decent one. Train Spotting, a movie that we regarded quite highly. Another vote for the prosthetic penis of Mark Wahlberg. Now, Dante's Bobby in Sex and the City. I knew this one was going to come. Have you seen this, the Sex and the City movie?
No.
I've seen both, but I don't remember the Bobby.
This guy has a smashing Bobby. Like, he's a very handsome man. It's very emasculating, this guy. He's like a perfect man. Beautiful, tall, tan, smashing big Bobby.
Fair play.
One from your lovely better half, Kyle, which is the mushroom dick from The Hangover.
Well, I'm glad you said a movie there.
I know. She did confirm to me via DM that it is similar to her real life. So
she must be having an affair with Bunzy.
She was having an affair with Bunzy. It would be the opposite fucking thing she'd be saying, I tell you.
That's true. To be fair, that's true.
One for the ladies there letting people know Bunzy. Big hand. Well, it's a funny scene though. I'm sure. Did we talk about this when we watched The Hangover? That was improvised, and they didn't know he was going to be naked when he came out. Which, if that's true, that's fucking hilarious. He just came in and got his dick right in another actor's face. Was that the last one? No, we also had American The Union, which is one of the American Pie sequels. Apparently, there's a good Bobby scene in that, but I don't think I've ever seen that.
I've watched the film, but I can't remember the Bobby.
See, it must not be a very good Bobby.
No, exactly. It's an unmemorable shaft.
Well, from my extensive research at the moment, it says here that Jason Biggs said no to using a prop when it came to bearing his third during American Reunion, so it's his actual penis.
Well done, Jason Biggs. Biggs by name, Biggs by nature.
Well, just to confirm, a few others here on this list here, it says that Ewan McGregor has had his cock out in 16 different movies.
wait. What about that's some serious big dick energy, that like.
But what I remember, he's just got a bang average dick, so fair play to him. He must just like getting his dick out. I think Ewan McGregor has had his cock out in 16 movies is also a great name for the podcast.
Chris Pine in Outlaw King also gets his actual Bobby out.
Oh, I'm loving this, Kyle.
Will Poulter in the We Are the Millers had a prosthetic penis when his was on show.
That was very obvious because I'm sure it got like stung by a bee or something. It was like all massive and swollen for the member.
Jason Segel in Forgetting Sarah Marshall has his actual wanger out.
Oh, that's 100%. He's flopping it about and everything. It's 100% his penis.
Jonah Hill in The Wolf of Wall Street is a very large but fake cock. Do you not remember the scene when he's putting the heat off it when Margot Robbie was coming on the screen?
Is it that the wedding scene? They're at a wedding and he's hanging.
It's a party, I think.
Ah, it's the party in the house.
Oh, was it? Oh, so it is.
Fake. Fuck you, Jonah Hill. Get your actual Bobby out.
And the 50 Cent in the TV show Power says that he criticised the director for actually showing his magic stick without any of his say-so.
Without his say-so? Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is an urban myth, but I heard that in the movie I, Robot with Will Smith, there's a shower scene and you see him naked for the back, so you only see like his arse.
Oh, I've heard that about this. It's like there's like the shadows there of his smashing big Bobby or something.
It's tickling his ankle.
I heard that because his Bobby was so big, they had to tape it to his legs so it wouldn't show from behind, hanging between his legs. And
I know the feeling, guys. Just one final one to put in here, but Aaron Taylor Johnson in the movie A Million Little Pieces, it says here that he wasn't shy in doing nude scenes where you get to see his actual anaconda a lot.
Wow.
So,
well, I've got one
movies to add to the list.
Yeah, loads of movies. I've got one more before we just finish up, and it's similar to that Willem Dafoe in the movie Antichrist, they had to use a body double for his penis and then a prosthetic, but for a different reason, because his penis was so fucking big, apparently, that they thought it would like distract too much. But apparently Willem Dafoe's got a monster cock.
Well, I'm not really appreciating your phrase just before that, Daniel, as we're talking about all these penises about just before we finish.
Oh. One of them would have finished in this time. We've talked about a lot of penises. One of them's bound to be wanking at this moment.
Well, there is only one on camera, and I can assure you that he's bearing all for us right now.
Yes.
Well, listen, let's if Hunter, do you have any trivia that
I do have some. I mean, but I don't know if I can go back and compare it with all this member chat that we've just had.
Well, if you want to go, we can skip it and go straight on to rating the penises. I mean, the movie.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's it. I mean, a lot of the time. I mean, I don't know. I think you covered a lot of it, stuff that you see with like with the what's the word I'm looking for here? Like the inconsistencies. I mean, I think obviously when it comes to trivia as well, a lot of the stuff is it's meant to be true. Like you can actually just go and like it's not. I think with films like this, I don't think the trivia is as more opening up. It doesn't add anything extra to the film, in my opinion. I could be wrong though. I could just be being lazy, but
Nah, fuck it. In the trivia, let's score it.
Let's go with it. Shaun, I think we'll come to you first. I think the movie's taken a bit of a battering, so try and save it a little bit for you.
I'm going to give it a 3.75.
Straight in with a 3.75. Daniel?
Oh, I've been really conflicted about this all day. I'm giving it a 1.
Wow.
Burnsy?
I'm gonna give it. I was gonna give it a 3 before I came on, but it's annoyed me chatting about it, so it's going to go down to 2.5.
Oofed. Hunter?
I will stick to Burnsy's original score. I'm giving it a 3.
Well, I'm going to join Daniel in the 1, and that's purely because of the performance of the main character, the main actor, because I can't say his name either. But other than that, I didn't like the movie at all.
No, often we're on the same page, Kyle.
I know, it's weird. I don't like it. Burnsy, have you used your calculator yet?
Yep. That's a 2.25.
A 2.25, and I've got absolutely no idea where that sits in the leaderboard because I have neglected that for about the last 3 months, which I will spend some time at some point that in the near future that I've told you many times, and I'll update it.
Once it's updated and we know how many we've got, I think when we get to 150, if we're not already past it, we should do another big countdown on Instagram.
No, because I know exactly what you want to do. You want to then go back in and reassess some movies, and you want to knock Spider-Man down. So you can all fuck off.
I'm happy to not do that, but I'd quite like just to do all the posts for the top 150. I don't mind the rescoring. We can ditch that.
Well, guys, that does bring us to the end. We spent more time talking about penises than we did talking about what's the movie called again?
The Queen movie.
Mm-hmm.
With Lizzie, old Lizzie. But that does bring us to the end of this one, guys. We will see you next week. Thank you so much for listening. We never really ask for this, but if you could leave us a rating on Spotify or Apple, a wee 5-star rating would be fantastic. And please share this with your friends. But as Morons do, bid you farewell.
Good night.
Good night.
Sorry I don't speak moron as well as you, but let me try.
What the hell is supposed to do, you moron?
It's a moron. That's not against the law.
Gun! You fucking moron!
Dressed up like Batman.
Because he is Batman, you moron.
What are you, a fucking moron?
You moron. Drop dead. Moron.
Whoa!
Up here, you morons.
Stepping morons like yourself.
Me down, you moron! Hey, moron!
Bid you farewell and good luck, morons. Bye.